The first day of rehearsal for Showboat, June 20, 1971. Dress Circle Bar at the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane. I had been flown over from New York to London to star as Magnolia in this production. It became an international hit. We were awarded a special Tony Award and a record-breaking run at the Adelphi Theater. I had arrived from New York 2 days before that, and knowing no one in the cast, I must admit I was very naive and very much in the dark about my co-stars. And this woman, Cleo Laine, well, the double doors swung open. I saw thigh-high red leather boots, the lips, the eyes, the hair. I thought, my God, excuse me, I'm sorry, I have never seen anything like this before. Then this exotic creature walks up to me and says, "I'm Cleo." I was both mesmerized and totally captivated. Well, the script reading began, and the first note of "Can't Help Lovin' That Man" from Cleo, my jaw dropped to the floor. And I wrote in my script, "like a cello." And I turned to American Kenny Nelson sitting next to me, and we were both salivating and totally enraptured. Well, I was just tingling with excitement after hearing that. Of course, I had studied all my music for Magnolia, and I was so looking forward to singing it. And when it came to Nobody Else But Me in the script, it had the name Julie above it. And I thought, that's wrong. That must be a typo. Kern and Hammerstein wrote it for Magnolia to sing in the minstrel scene. But it wasn't a typo. It seems that it was one of Cleo's favorite songs. And it was provision for her signing the contract that she got that song. Well, anyway, she made quite a wonderful thing of it. Benny Green, the writer, had to duke it out with the Hammerstein office along with the producer, Harold Fielding. And they won the case. And the rest, as they say, is history. As Magnolia would have sung it. I want to be no one but me. I am in love with a lover who likes me the way I am. I have my faults. He likes my faults. I'm not very bright. Well, coming from the more classically trained repertoire, I had a voice teacher who said to me from the age of 17, "Lorna, voice isn't everything." Well, from that first note that Cleo sang, I had my first life lesson. I had a master class in lyrics. And I thought, oh, I'm going to get to sing with this woman every night. Thank you, God. And I have treasured all those moments every day since. I want to be no one but me. I am in love with a lover who likes me the way I am. I have my faults. He likes my faults. I'm not very bright. He's not very bright. He thinks I'm grand. That's grand for me. He can be wrong if we get along. What do we care, say we? when he holds me close, close as we can be. I'm glad I'm nobody else but me. When he holds me close, close as we can be, I tell the lad that I'm grateful. Cleo Laine forever changed my life. She changed my musical awareness and instincts. She changed my voice, and for that I am eternally grateful to her. Thank you, my dearest Cleo.
Talk about abundance. There you have it. The incredible, the luscious Lorna Dallas, who will be here on the show a little later today. I have 5 incredible artists, friends, colleagues that I'm so happy to call them my friends, that are all here to talk about abundance in their own careers, in their art. And what that means, that's what we're going to be focused on today. But we're also going to be talking about the projects that they have either coming up or that they've done. And I am so excited to bring up my first guest. He's got an event this evening, so I'm going to get him on fast. And that's the wonderful Frank Dain. How are you, Frank?
Hey, hi, Richard. Boy, you're making me follow that Lorna Dallas.
Well, as I always
Wow.
say, Carol Channing always said, all you need to do is to step into the love.
Wow.
She laid it out. You know, you and I were lucky enough because we both did something. We both have been around a long time.
Yeah, thanks for telling people that.
Between the two of us, I think at least 125 or 30 years.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
But we both just made our debuts at the Cabaret Convention.
I know. How about that?
And I was lucky enough to follow Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano.
Yeah.
Because I said, all I need to do is to step into the love.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we just are doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, and it just proves that they're always first, no matter how old you are, right?
That's right.
I mean, for us to be debuting at the Cabaret Convention that's 36 years old, you know.
But we've earned the right to sing I'm Still Here.
That's for sure.
And you were incredible, by the way. So that was a fun
thank you. You were as well. I thought, boy, he's been on this stage before. That's what it looked like.
Well, that's where I prefer to be on large stages. And
but it doesn't feel that large, does it?
No.
That was the surprising thing for me. Somewhat at the sound check, but when it actually came to the actual performance, I thought, well, the house is huge, but it's a very intimate feeling, which, you know, we love in cabaret. And it was not fearful at all. It was completely enveloping, you know.
But you've been very, very busy the last
I have been very busy. October was a crazy month, but the last couple of years have been extremely busy. And my abundance is the fact that I've been able to create with some incredible collaborators, and the abundance of support and guidance and love, and just having cheerleaders on your side that understand what you're trying to do and help you get to the goal. That's been the most amazing thing out of everything that's happened over the last couple of years. Recording a new CD, finally doing a first show after 13 years. Mm-hmm. You know, it was everything just kept leading up to, I think, the show in May and then the repeat in October, including a stint at the Cabaret Convention. It's been, yes, the abundance of love and support and goodwill and good luck. And it's I'm still trying to process it all, to be honest with you.
Well, I've always said there's no such thing as a one-man or one-woman show.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's so many people peripherally, from a distance all over, that are responsible for getting us there. And I think that those of us, everyone in this show today, we are so fortunate to be part of a community that supports each other and celebrates the art form of live performance.
Yeah.
And
especially this kind of live performance.
Especially this kind of live performance. And I don't think you get that. You don't get that pretty much in Broadway, because Broadway artists that are appearing on the shows don't have the opportunity to go see other shows when they're working.
Right.
And, we may have a show one night, and the night before we're there to support other artists.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing, amazing thing. We're going to bring on one of our next guests in a moment, but I want to ask you, when you hear the word abundance in the context of your own art, what does that mean to you personally? Is it creative freedom? Is it community? Is it opportunity? Or is it something else entirely?
No, it certainly is creativity, but I'm repeating myself, but really is the abundance of the support that has enabled me to do what I've been able to do with the recording and the show. Without Kurt Peterson and Kathleen Landis, we would not be having this conversation. They were there from the beginning for the CD. And as I said, my show, they insisted that I do a show. I didn't want to do it. But again, the abundance for me is the love and support and the guidance, and which gave me the abundance of freedom to create and to, honestly, for the first time in all the years of performing, I felt this was the freest that I have ever been, because I had all of these people around me who said, yes, this is what you should be doing. You're doing it right. Just don't worry about it. Just be yourself. And that's what I like about cabaret, is being ourselves. But sometimes we put up these little walls and we say, oh, this is how I should be. They gave me the abundance of freedom to throw all of that stuff away and let whatever's going to happen that night, or in that take in the recording studio. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for what the universe has given me in Kathleen and in Kurt and in the musicians and in the clubs, everything, because I, as you said, we don't do this by ourselves. We might be the name out front, but there are so many people that are right behind us.
Absolutely. On a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, I want to bring on our next guest, but before, you're going to help us bring on the next guest, because I have 4 incredible women who are at the top of their game, all of them. And you're going to pick a number 1 through 4. You don't know what it's going to be.
I don't.
And then I'm going to bring that person on.
It's a game. I wish I could play the lottery like this, right? I am going to say number 3.
Number 3, well, let me give you a glimpse of what she does. Here she is.
Okay.
Days can be sunny with never a star. Don't have what money can buy. Dread my absence, senor, but he liked to throw the bull, and he was no matador. Get it? I've got my man who can ask for anything more.
above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me.
And here she is, Mary Porter, a Carolina girl. Yes, I'm from, as you know, I'm from South Carolina. She's from North Carolina. They separated them with good reason many, many years ago. Mary, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What an honor and a pleasure to be here.
Now, do you and Frank know each other?
Only through email.
Okay.
And she was generous enough to advertise with us in cabaret scenes. So it's very nice to meet you, and thank you in person.
Absolutely. And I've seen you perform. You were at Susie Mosher's lineup
I was.
a month ago.
Right.
And
Another first.
I saw you both at the cabaret convention.
Yeah.
I get such joy and pleasure out of seeing fellow entertainers.
I do too.
Oh,
absolutely.
I am absorbing everything they're giving. I love it.
I'm going to see Julie Ewing tonight, sold out. So
I'll be there.
You'll be there. Great. We'll see each other later. And I'm so excited about seeing her. And a friend of mine just said, I tried to get tickets and she's sold out. I think that's the greatest thing in the world. And I'm so thrilled when all of my fellow artists fill rooms. And speaking of sold out, you're sold out also, Mary.
Well, amazingly, my show, this all started back in April, and when I got the booking, and by May, I did not realize I had so many supporters from a couple different countries and a lot of different areas. And I've lived in many different places. So I guess I have cultivated some incredible friendships along the way. And many of my friends and family and supporters purchased tickets and are coming in from 12 different states for my show.
Wow.
So we added a second show. I mean, for my debut, Frank, I am like...
So I want to say to all of my friends that live in Brooklyn and Staten Island and Queens, and they go, going into the city. I live in Rockland County, and I am in the city more nights than my husband would like to admit.
Mm-hmm.
But we're there. I mean, because these people are not only my fellow artists, but they're friends.
Yeah.
I want to be there to support them.
Right. I think in the last week, I've been to 4 different venues. I saw you at Don't Tell Mama. I've been to Laura Beachman, 54 Below, Carnegie Hall, to see fellow, entertainers, performers. And one, like the other night, I had not even met Chris Latour, never met him, never heard him.
Blown away.
I know.
Blown away?
Yes, it's a fabulous show, celebrating 75 years of his life in show business. So it's, I don't know. I feel like I am just like a little sponge trying to absorb all of these experiences and all the love that everyone so abundantly shares. And I'm benefiting from it. And I think it helps me when I get on stage, I'm able to give it back,
Well, that's all part of the abundance. But I want to ask you, and then we're going to bring on our next guest. Artists often navigate either feast or famine cycles. So can you share a moment when you consciously shifted from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance, and what changed as a result because of that?
Oh, I don't think your show's long enough for some of this, but because I'll just say, since you already said how old somebody else was. Oh, Leslie and Lauren. I'm 67, soon to be 68. So
I'm way past you.
Okay, well, but you've got years of it. I'm a little late getting started on certain things, but some of my journey, I really thought my music career, my music talent, whatever, was over until I was living in Puerto Vallarta, and I sang at this little open mic, which I hardly ever do. And somebody heard me. It happened to be the owner of the club. And fast forward, he booked me. And I'm like, oh, well, let me pull out my old book here of all Broadway tunes. So my first show was Broadway and More, because I knew Broadway. And I must say this before you go to the next one. Oh my goodness. I lived in Smithfield, North Carolina for quite a while. And when our North Carolina small theater there did a production of Showboat, I was cast as Julie, which in the film version was Ava Gardner's role. And she, like me, is a tobacco farm girl from the Smithfield area. So I got to sing Julie's role, and my daughter at the time, who was only like 7, played little Kim. Now, this was with members of the North Carolina Symphony. It was a big production. So Lorna, I always loved the Magnolia songs, but I got to do the Julie. And not to give away too much of my show, because it's all a tribute to North Carolina artists, one of which is Ava Gardner, because it was her actual voice on the soundtrack. So I could sing. So I will be doing my Can't Help Loving That Man of Mine. So maybe
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you. Well, Mary, like Frank, you are in the Monty Hall spot today. Door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3?
Okay, and before I do that, I must say, Natasha Yvette Williams and Michael Orland say to tell you hello.
Oh,
I love them both.
Yes.
I love them both.
Okay, door number 4.
There were only 3.
Oh, there's only 3. Oh, door number 1, 2, or 3. Was that right? Those are my choices. Okay,
Yes.
well, I was 3, so I'll go with 3. And
Well, I am very excited because finally everything's coming together, and you'll know what I mean when I bring her on.
Okay.
Here's a-
I'll stand up proudly in true peace of mind, talking about way over yonder is a place I've seen. It's a garden of wisdom from some long ago dream. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You've got a friend. Oh, yeah. I'd like to know that your love is love I can be sure of. So tell me now, and I won't ask again. Will you still love me tomorrow? Under my feet, I feel the sky tumbling. once under the soft silver sadness in the sky, there came a man of fortune, a drifter passing by. He wore a torn and tattered cloth around his leathered hide, and a coat of many colors, yellow, green on either side.
November 13th, don't tell mama, 7 o'clock. I have my tickets.
Good, because it's sold out like almost
Sold out.
already.
I'm so thrilled. Welcome to the show, Laurie.
The secret is don't do something for a really long time.
That's I can attest to that.
And then, yeah. Hi.
Hello. So do you know Mary and you know Frank of obviously.
No, but I would like to say that years ago when I toured doing theater, I did Julie and Showboat several times.
Oh, wow.
I'm hoping that Sandra did Julie as well. I'll find out.
Well, Richard, we have a goal now. You and I have to play Julie at some point.
I have played Julie
Oh,
in my living room every Friday night at 7 o'clock.
I used to joke that I did a lot of Julie and a lot of Aldonza, so I was always drunk and being beaten.
Oh, wow.
oh Lord.
Well, that's very much like being in show business.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So, Laurie, how does it feel? I mean, how long has it been since you've done a solo show?
I don't know. It's been a long time. And the thing is that the Tapestry project, which is finally, the recording will be coming out next year. It's been such a huge endeavor that quite honestly, the funding to do just something else, it's been complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But then I turned 70 and my mother passed away last year. And I started, and now I'm going to get you, and I started thinking, I was fascinated by the topic of abundance, because abundance for me right now means I just want to go back to where Daryl Kojak, my pianist, we've worked together for 34 years, where we started. We used to do shows at Danny's. September and May, we would do shows at Danny's, and it was just us. And we would explore music, and the place would be packed, and it was just us. And I loved that, and I miss that. And yes, I'm going to bring my trio in again eventually, but I wanted to do something that was just me and Daryl back at the beginning. Some music, me talking, and some, and so I'm excited about the simplicity of it and just sharing musical stories with people. And that it's funny to me how that feels like gigantic abundance right now, to be in the brick room. I specifically chose the brick room because it is reminiscent for me of Danny's. So
Well, I miss Danny's. I used to follow Blossom Dearie at Danny's.
Me too. I used to say that she opened for me.
Oh, no. But
She opened for me.
there were nights where she would finish her show and then she would want to sit on stage and sign autographs.
Oh,
Or
God.
CDs and everything. And it was like, when am I going on? My audience is waiting outside. And there I was surrounded by all the lobsters.
That's
Remember?
very funny. I remember one time there, I called it the dressing nook. It was just a curtain. And people didn't know that you could hear them talking about you while you were
Yeah.
go on. But then one time you came in, I maybe you were the next show, and you were dressed as Carol Channing. And I was just starting out. I was so intimidated by you. And the fact that we became friends is just fabulous.
It's all an illusion, Laurie. Well, Laurie, I want to ask you, what has changed both in the business and psychologically since the last time you did this type of a show with Daryl?
I think, it's interesting because I was talking to somebody about how in the way back time, when we would do a month of shows in May and September, we would do Thursdays or Fridays every single year in May and September. And you can't really do that anymore. I mean, we used to get people, I don't know how, but there isn't a run like that. And so that's changed. But I'm trying to remember when the last time that I did my own whole show. You know, it's been tapestry rewoven for such a long time, and we were doing that at bigger venues. We had to. There's so many people on stage. So the thing that I'm most struck by is that you can't just set up shop unless you have a huge following.
Yeah, and even then it's difficult.
Right.
I'm not going to say who it is, but major name doing a show tonight. And just before we went live, I got an email from the venue wanting to know if I want to go see the show tonight.
Wow.
She has a lot of empty seats. I'm not saying who it is, but it's a name. It's a name in the business. So there are never any guarantees, anyone. And I also want to say, if you're thinking about going to see a show at anyone, make the commitment. Go get it on the books, because the venues are nervous about the rooms, and they also staff according to the number of people that are there. I want to bring on our next guest, but I want to ask you this question. How does gratitude influence your creative process? And do you have a ritual or practice that helps you stay grateful, especially during the quieter artistic seasons?
I think the thing about gratitude for me is that I did other things with my life. I was going for an MBA in finance, working on Wall Street, took a course for people that like to sing that never sang in public, and had an epiphany that that's what I was going to do, which was kind of crazy. I did go into therapy before I made that choice. And so for me, I know the other life. And so I'm always reminded, and right before I leave my apartment to go to a gig, I look in the mirror and I talk to myself to remind myself about this. And I tell myself, I can't believe I'm telling you this. I've never said this to anyone. Before I leave, I look in the mirror and I say, no matter what happens out there tonight, you're still you. It doesn't change anything. So use the moment to have a good time.
And the audience wants to have a good time. So think about that. So you're going to bring on our next guest. Door number 1 or door number 2? And they're both waiting.
Door number 1.
And we've already seen her. It's Lorna Dallas.
No, hello.
So how are you, Lorna?
Better for seeing you.
Oh, great.
All of you.
So Lorna, you know, you can build upon anything that you've heard us talk about, or you can take us in a completely different direction.
Well, I have to explain that clip that you played was from Cleo Laine's memorial, which was in London recently. And of course, I did Showboat with Cleo, and very emotional time. And Jackie, her daughter, is a wonderful singer. I'm hoping that Jackie might one day come to New York and you might hear her. She's phenomenal.
Oh, that would be
and I'm now, according to her, I'm her surrogate mother now. So anyway, yeah, I'm very grateful for everything that happened with Cleo, and that has been life-changing for me in more ways than one. So anyway.
That's wonderful. I mean, I'm going to ask you the same question that I just asked Laurie, because the business is constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. Since you first, I mean, you are first and foremost, you know, a classically trained singer. You've done theater, and now you're mostly doing cabaret. So what are the mindsets for each of those different categories?
Oh, God. Well, coming from the classically trained, that's where critics would judge you on sound. You were never really judged on what you were singing. It was how you were singing. And to me, that was always frustrating. It's lovely. As long as you made a nice sound, that's what they loved. But you could be singing mush, 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 and, you know, means nothing. So I find that doing the things that rely more on lyrics and what you are singing and getting the message across is much more important to me than vocally doing something wonderful and people say, oh, that sounded lovely. That to me is a real put down. I'd rather they'd say, well, we really loved what you were singing. That's the important word, what you were singing. And I find that it's it's much more acceptable and much more the norm to use it in cabaret, because you are telling the stories and you're being very personal. You're exposing yourself to an audience. You're standing there naked, and it's what words you can say, what you can tell. And I love the fact of being able to tell the stories and dig into the music and the meaning of the songs more than anything. And as I say, I had a voice teacher that used to say to me, and she was classically trained from opera. She used to say to me, voice isn't everything, Lorna. And she was very wise with me. And of course, when I worked with Cleo, then the penny dropped. I thought, yes, this is what it's all about.
But guess what, Lorna? She got a chance to work with you.
Well, thank you. It's very kind. Cleo and John Dankworth were absolutely wonderful to me, and I did many concerts with them. And yes, we had some wonderful adventures together through the years, and also I was very, very grateful. And I have to say, there was a unique connection in the fact that my husband, Gary, had been a trombone player, and he had been in John Dankworth's big band when Cleo auditioned for the band in 1951.
Wow.
He was there when she came in and auditioned. And at that time, John offered her £5 a week, which was a lot of money, evidently, at that time. And she said no. And the band and Gary said, we were all saying, John, don't let her get away. Quick, you got to hang on to this one. Don't let her go. And she got him up to £7 a week, and she said yes. And the rest, they say, is history, because then they fell in love, and Gary was there for their wedding and everything. And then I come along in 1971, and I have this connection with Cleo and John. And when I met Gary several years later, when we both realized this connection with Cleo and John, it was just absolutely amazing. And so it was quite golden experience in more ways than one.
Well, I want to talk about collaboration for a moment. And you're very fortunate because you have Barry Kleinbord and Christopher Denny. I want to ask, first of all, how did that collaboration come to be?
Well, actually, I'd seen a number of shows in New York, and I'd sort of made notes of who was involved in them. Karen Mason I had seen, Sarah Zahn I'd seen in shows, and I thought, gosh, these are intelligent, clever shows. And then Jamie DeRoy, fortunately,
Jamie.
Yes, Jamie had allowed me to stay with her a few times when I was coming over, and she'd said, oh, Barry Kleinbord, you must meet. And I thought, yes, that name has come up before. Yes, I do want to meet him. And that's how it started. And then once I met Barry, then Chris came into the picture, and we started putting together shows. And I loved the creativity and the challenges that Barry threw out at me. The first show that we did together was a two-part. It was 2 acts that we reopened Jermyn Street Theatre in London. It was based on Novello and Kern. And we had a bass player with us who's a lovely guy. And we had a ball with that show. And that really solidified my working with Barry and Chris. I'm so happy with them. And we've now done about 8 or 9 shows together since then. And it's just the experience of working with these guys who throw out the challenges, and also just the challenge, I think. And I love that. And also they're careful of what suits me and what they think is going to best present me. And that is invaluable. So I cannot be happier than I am with them.
Well, I thank you for that. I am very happy to be bringing on our next guest who's been waiting so patiently. I want to read a quote, first of all. Ferocious compassion requires that I find the courage to speak my truth, to find the courage to be disliked, to find the courage to turn and face confrontation. Ferocious compassion guides me to choose authenticity over approval.
Good.
I just absolutely love that. And that comes from Sandra. So,
hi everyone.
Welcome. So Sandra, again, you can build upon anything you've heard here, or you can take us down your own path.
Well, I thank you all for your beautiful sharings. It's just been such a joy to sit here and hear your stories. I'd like to build on your abundance theme and what I've been thinking about since you sent out the email, abundance in art, and what arose for me, and it's kind of related to ferocious compassion too, which is a chapter I have in a book that's just come out called Love Notes Anthology 2.0, the stories of healing and compassion, is the word health rose for me when I was meditating on what abundance in art might be. And the image that came to me was my husband, who back in 2018 was diagnosed with throat cancer. And right around that time, I was cast in a off-Broadway show at Here Arts Center. It's a play called Sycorax by Fengar Gale. And I was overwhelmed with my husband's diagnosis and the treatment he was going to have to face. And so I didn't think that I could possibly do the show and companion him and be there for him. And the doctor, who happened to be the husband of one of my best friends from college, unbelievably, my husband's doctor who companioned him through his treatment, said, whoa, wait a minute. You need to care for yourself as well as him. And doing a show, if the rehearsals and the performances can fit in, it would be a wonderful thing for you to do while he is going through his treatment. And it will serve both of you. And it's exactly what happened. I went on and I did the show. I loved the show. And in fact, Lori Krause came and saw the show. And I thank you for that. And the show was so intense. I played this raging witch. It's Sycorax pulled out of the Tempest and given this backstory. And it was a wild play. And I got to rage on stage. And just in time for all the political landscape. But it was so nourishing. And I was so reminded of how nourishing. And Richard, you just came and saw me at Surflight. I just did a show at Surflight.
Calendar Girls, incredible.
Thank you. And talk about nourishing. To in the times in which we find ourselves, the insanity, no one can regulate their nervous system at all in today's world. To have the outlet, the self-nourishment of creativity and performance and collaboration with fellow artists, it was an epiphany for me, this most recent show, and which is what forced me to look at, I've been lollygagging writing this play that I've been talking about for the last 5 years easily. And so I'm going to write this play. And the good news is my husband is 6 years cancer-free.
Yes, that's good. We're going to play a little round robin game here. Frank, are you okay to stick around?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
But Sandra, I want to begin with you. In what ways have your collaborations, your partnerships, your artistic friendships expanded your sense of abundance? And who has helped open new creative doors for you?
Well, who's opened creative doors for me? There's not one person. The first person that just popped to mind of all people is Billy Wilson, whom has long been passed away. He directed Guys and Dolls, the Black Guys and Dolls on Broadway. I met him in my senior year at Carnegie Mellon. He directed Guys and Dolls, and I got to play Adelaide with him as a guest director. And Ann Kittredge was in that show as well. He opened so many doors for me, and I went on to do quite a few things through him, if not with him. But that's kind of long ago. There's no one person right now that's I feel as though has been opening a lot of doors for me. But there have been really extraordinary collaborators, like the cast of Calendar Girls. Those women, I mean, talk about being, the audition for that show went on for hours and no one bitched. It was all 40-year-olds to 80-year-olds in this, and everyone was uplifting and fun and connected. And there was, and you know, so all the cast knew each other from the auditions as well. And what we were able to create on stage was just so joyful.
Well, as it was for the audience as well, because I had a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Frank, I'm all about the word yes, because I believe that all of life and success pivots around that word. And so I want to ask you, how do you decide when to say yes to a new project and when to say no to protect your own time and energy?
I don't think I've learned that yet. Oh, yeah. Well, as I said, my show, I said no about the show for almost a month. And first Kathleen and then Kurt kept saying, don't do a party. You have to get up there and do the show. And I didn't want to sing the entire CD live. That just because the CD is what it is. It's a recording. Let it stand on its own. Sometimes I think no leads to yes much easier than yes leads to no. I kept saying no. Part of it was I was being lazy. Part of it was I didn't know if anybody would show up. I didn't know if there was time to put it all together. And when I finally just got all that stuff out of my way, that's when I said yes. I'm saying yes more often than no, because, over the last 5 years, my life has changed completely. And I'm how to put this in words? I'm just finding that the easiness of saying no has become somewhat of a burden to me. And because it became so easy and became my fallback, because I just wanted to close the door and leave the world outside. And now that I'm saying yes more often, I'm reconnecting with people that got ignored. I'm reconnecting with emotions and feelings, and there's a creative spark that had been missing for quite a while, and yes has made that light again. And again, I have to say, Kurt Peterson and Kathleen Landis were the ones.
And I love them both.
Oh, yeah. I wish them on everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. That's brilliantly said. Mary, financial success is one measure of success. But what other forms of wealth do you feel that your art has given you, emotionally, spiritually, and socially?
For me, the giving back. I take great joy in helping others. And I have been producing and directing charity events, not only in the North Carolina, but also in Mexico. And of course, it took a village. These were all shows that were up here that I helped facilitate, and I brought together great people. But knowing that my efforts have brought in close to $150,000 for different charities. Wow. Alzheimer's, food banks, children's schools, homeless, and whether that's in the Carolinas or nationwide or in Mexico, I get such joy out of helping others. I just do. And the people that I have learned to get to know, that all I knew was them professionally, but when I see their giving spirit, that's my greatest paycheck ever.
Mhm.
And even this show at 54, all of my proceeds I give to Alzheimer's anyway. My mother had
Wow.
dementia.
God bless you.
My mother had dementia. And, you know, we can't leave this earth and hoard our money. So just to give back. I don't know if I answered your question or not.
You did answer that question. Yes.
That's a financial gain to me, you know, to help others and support others. And we are so fortunate. You know, it doesn't take any of us long to walk around and see people who can't walk, who have no food on their table, who have no job. And we're so blessed. And I think we just are here. We need to share it.
Amen. I absolutely agree with that. Laurie, and I pretty much know the answer to this question I'm about to ask you.
Good, because I'm scared.
Because I know you so well.
Uh-huh.
At least I think I do. How do you share your abundance with others, whether through mentorship, teaching, community work, supporting emerging artists?
Well, I think in a side hustle that I have is that I teach public speaking, and I love doing that. And I love, I have a huge family, so I think this is what you're going to be. I have a giant amount of great nieces and nephews. I joke that my brother had 4 kids. I didn't have children as a choice. And so he statistically did the having children thing for me. And he now has 10 grandchildren. Good. So I have 10 great nieces and nephews, 2 of whom are coming to the show next week. So they're being coached how to be quiet at a show. But so for me, I frequently can't go to other things in our world because I'm very active in their world. And I want to go see them at their concerts and their plays, which is so freaking cute. And I love that. I love children, but I like to say I love them in a macro way, not a micro way.
I love that. I love that. Lorna, can you recall a setback that ultimately revealed itself as an abundant opportunity in disguise?
A setback? Yes, in a strange sort of way. I was in an automobile accident when I was 16, and by all accounts, everything added, I should not have survived it. And it seemed that an injury that I had, they were going to amputate my leg, and they didn't. I was saved at the last minute in this small town of 10,000 people. Family doctor said, he told my parents they had to sign papers that amputate the leg to save my life. And one of the best bone specialists in the country happened to be going through that town and said he wanted to stop in and check on a patient that he had there who was a distant relative of mine, by the way. My leg was saved. And from that onwards, it sort of spurred me on to this thing of going after things in a passionate way, because I thought, you know, maybe my time is limited. I don't know, but it stirred me on in a lot of ways. So that it was a setback in sort of ways. Thank God I still have the leg, so I'm not doing Long John Silver or something. Anyway, but that was a setback, but it was also something that stirred me on and yeah, made a lot of sense later on.
After Sandra speaks, I'll share a very funny anecdote that I heard this week that will tie in somewhat with all this. Sandra, what daily habits, affirmations, or routines help you stay connected to the abundance in your art, in your life? And I pretty much know the answer to that as well.
Well, of course, I'm a daily meditator. I don't do it for long, but I do it. And I every single day when I take a bath, not a shower, I light a candle and I offer gratitude for the day and for the life. I tend to, I have a lot of interests and I do a lot of different things. And like you, Mary, I'm really connected to service. Mm-hmm. And so I get huge amounts, huge waves of gratitude in my days from a variety of sources. So it's not something that I feel as though I have to, it's not every day. I mean, you know, when I'm raging about politics, then I have to work on it. But generally speaking, I'm in the moment. I'm present in the moment and grateful in the moment for the relationship, for what I'm learning, what I'm curious about, and what I'm creating. You know, I get to create ceremony for people. I get to do weddings. I get to do funerals. I get to, you know, create all of these beautiful opportunities of big days for people that I get to be a part of. I still perform. I get to be grateful with wonderful casts. And I work with clients in a variety of coaching and counseling ways. And so I get pretty full by all of that work.
That's great. Well, I get this from all of you, and that's not just a cliche. I want to thank you all for being here today. I'm going to give you all each a chance to have your final word. I'll start with you, Frank, in a moment, though. In a moment.
Have your hand to do.
So, and when you finish, you'll pick the next person. It could be about anything we spoke about today that you want to build upon. Something that we didn't talk about that you wish we had, or just any final message that you want to leave with everyone today. For everyone who's watching, thank you for being here. Please hit the like button if you did indeed like the show. Hit the share button and leave a comment on YouTube because that really helps in terms of the algorithms. Did any of you see Carol Burnett the other night on Jimmy Kimmel?
Yes.
She told this great story that when she was doing Once Upon a Mattress, she got her first paycheck and she wanted to go to Rumpelmeyer's and she wanted to treat everybody to an ice cream sundae. And that's her calling now. So she went, so she goes into Rumpelmeyer's and the waitress comes over to her and she goes, "How dare you? How dare you come in here wearing slacks? Slacks are not allowed here." And she said, "I understand that, but I have a wooden leg." And everybody in the restaurant just was going, boo, boo, boo. She got a free ice cream sundae at Rumpelmeyer's. So I'm going to leave, everybody. First of all, 2 weeks from tonight, if you're available, come spend an hour with me at the Laurie Beachman. Marilyn May said something, and I always think about this before I walk out on stage. She said the audience is always the star. Mm-hmm. It's not just about me getting up there, singing some songs, telling stories. It's about this interaction of what happens in that room. So if you're able to join me next, 2 weeks from tonight, please do. And I always tell everybody at the end of all my shows to go out and do something nice for somebody else without expecting anything in return. Mm-hmm. Now, I know all of you have this little device here. I want you all to do me a favor. And I want you to go to your emails and the fourth name that pops up in your emails, rather than responding to the email, pick up the phone and call them. Just take a moment to call that person and say, "I got your email and I want you to know that I'm thinking about you today." And when you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to make their life a little bit better. You're going to make their day. And because people aren't doing that anymore. And it's a good thing to do. So I encourage everybody to do that. Our dear friend Sean Moniger, he always says we're all living in the same storm, but we're in different sized boats. And I always say, I don't care what size boat you're on, as long as you have a skipper by your side. I'm going to leave the screen and I'm going to turn it over to you, Frank. And when you finish, you'll pick the next person and so on and so on. I'll end the show when the last person says goodbye. I'll see you later.
Thanks, Richard. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think I just want to reiterate something I said earlier, which is they always, growing up, it's always, you have to do this now because you only have so much time. Oh, no, you're too young to do that. You're too old to do that. That's at this age, almost 72, I can say that's just pure BS. It's never too late to do anything new, you know? Now, don't break your back, don't break a leg, you know? but definitely, to go back on his abundance theme, I think the abundance is found in saying yes, realizing that it's never too late, because I do it to myself every time. There are no guarantees. So go out there and do it. Lori, how about you?
I think that with the way the world is right now, I think it's incredibly important to stand up for what's right. But I also think it's incredibly important to share the joy of art, and incredibly important to teach our children about this so that they have something else. I worry so much about my great nieces and nephews right now and the world that we're going to be handing to them. And I'm so thrilled that two of them are coming to this show, because for a few minutes, it's just going to, they call me Uncle Laurie. It's a long story some other time. It's going to be Uncle Laurie making magic, and they're not going to have to deal with the world. And that's what we can do as artists. I think we can protest. I certainly do. And we can help people, but we can also make them laugh. Okay, Sandra, it's your turn.
Thank you. So true. Well, I just wanted to reiterate the ferocious compassion quote that was shared. That's from a chapter that I contributed in an anthology of stories about healing and compassion. I'm one of 24 contributing authors, and the book is called Love Notes Anthology 2.0. Stories of healing and compassion, and building on this abundance and the joy of art and the filling up of the goodness while we face some dark and challenging times. I would ask that you please go and purchase a copy of Love Notes 2.0 and really dive into these beautiful stories about healing and growth and compassion. And I hope that you enjoy my chapter, Ferocious Compassion. Thanks. Lorna?
Well, I just find it now is such a thrilling time, because I'm just so full of idea and the abundance of ideas and things that I want to impart, and I want to sing, and I want to put the message out there and tell the stories that hopefully will inspire others. And the thing that I find is the enjoyment, the sheer joy I have of singing now is beyond anything I'd ever imagined, as even when I was much younger. This is a thrilling time, and I just want to impart, or I would like to feel that I am paying forward what all those wonderful mentors and teachers gave to me over the years, and the things that they imparted to me. I was so very, very lucky. And I would like to feel that I'm paying forward what they gave me, and what I'm passing on to someone is inspiring and may help them cure or find happiness, whatever in their lives. That's what I feel is very important right now. So I turn it over to you, Mary.
Well, I grew up on a farm. So as we say in the country, I'm the cow's tail. So I'm the last one here. And honestly, to go back and reflect upon so much of the positive reflection that was given in this hour. And thank you so much, Richard Skipper, for this opportunity. As Lorna was talking about paying it forward, this past week, a couple days ago, I found out that one of our elders at the church that I grew up in passed away. And he was one of the most incredible men. His name was Gene Nethercutt. And when I was 13 years old, I was at Sunday school class, and he knocked on the door and he called me out of class. And I was so afraid that I had done something wrong. I don't know what. But he was there to ask if I would consider playing the piano at church. Now, I was 13. And of course, I was thrilled to do that. And so from the time I was 13 until I graduated and went to college, I was the church pianist and ended up also playing. Of course, we had an organist. Our Miss Janet was our music director and still is in her 90s. But those times that I grew up around all of this music, and this church, Little Baptist Church, was so positive an influence on my life and so many other people's lives. I ended up doing the children's choir, the youth choir. We even did some of the favorite songs from Jesus Christ Superstar. We're talking about back in, many, many years ago. That was the beginning of what I have now become, because people still tell me when I sit at the piano that it's a gift to them. So I didn't start singing, didn't realize I had a voice to sing except for with a group until I was in my 30s. So here I am now. I'm still learning all of the talents that God's given me. And I feel like I got to play catch up a little bit. And I feel so blessed and so fortunate. And I get so much by giving to others. And I think they get a gift from me. And to me, that's just the most wonderful blessing there is. So thank you.